Howdy, welcome back to more JTReacts, and today we're watching 10 ridiculous British myths. I love me a good myth, because you never know. It's a myth for a reason. Is it real? Is it not? We'll never really know, you know? Well, I feel like the biggest one, of course, is probably like the Loch Ness Monster, which is real. I'll say it right here. I believe, dang it. Oh, Nessie's out there. So we're about to watch this and see some other ones. Love me a good myth. Love me a good conspiracy theory. So we're about to get into it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Drop a like for more reactions like this. But other than that, let's get into it.
For this list, we're looking at the strangest things some people might believe about the UK. Let us know in the comments if you've believed any of these tall tales. Number 10. TV license vans. Chances are you've heard this story if you've ever considered trying to dodge paying the license fee, which you don't legally have to if you don't meet certain requirements.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Y'all have to pay, like, isn't it for the BBC or something, like, every year? I just figured that out, like, a few weeks ago. That is so crazy to me.
Allegedly, the BBC sends roving detector vans up and down the country, outfitted with state-of-the-art technology that can not only detect which houses and flats have active televisions, but what channels those TVs are tuned to.
No.
Suffice it to say, technology like this doesn't exist, and it's certainly not being kept top secret by the BBC just so they can fleece you out of 150 quid.
Hey, you never know.
Vans have been spotted around the country from time to time, but they are just an elaborate scare tactic, despite the BBC still claiming they work as recently as 2013. Number 9. The Windsor
That would be crazy. They send vans to your house if you don't pay.
Spiders. The papers had a field day with this baffling story all the way back in 2001, when it was claimed that BT engineers found a den of massive venomous spiders underneath Windsor Castle.
Nope. I don't care if it's real or not. I won't find out. No, I'm not going to be the one to find out. Giant spiders? Count me out.
Though, papers also reported that the spiders were poisonous, which they'd only know if somebody had tried to eat one. The so-called
why is that the only way to find out?
experts said that the species was, in fact, brand new, and was about 5 inches long, including the legs. So what were these terrifying giant spiders? Well, they were the almost completely harmless European cave spider, which lives across numerous continents. But would you believe, when the papers found out the spiders were very common and not dangerous, they stopped reporting on the story entirely. Number 8. London.
Dude, poisonous, not poisonous, small, big. I'm not a spider, dude. I'm not.
Bridge auction. Big Ben, St. Paul's Cathedral, the London Eye, these are all major London landmarks recognisable around the world.
Yeah.
But in 1968, a rich American, Robert McCulloch, tried and failed to buy another iconic landmark, Tower Bridge, so that he could have it shipped across the Atlantic to be rebuilt in Arizona.
What? No, that is ridiculous. Dude was trying to buy a bridge to get it shipped across the ocean to rebuild it in all places. Arizona. Is there even enough water for a bridge in Arizona? No, that is actually crazy. No way that's real.
However, there was a miscommunication, and he mistakenly bought Old London Bridge instead. At least, that's what you may have heard. In actuality, only half of this story is true.
How can you just buy a bridge? One day, I hope to have enough money to just say, you know what? I want that bridge. No, I'm not building a new one. I want that one. Bring me that one.
London Bridge was shipped overseas and rebuilt by McCulloch in Arizona after he won the auction.
Wow.
I never once thought he was actually buying Tower Bridge. He was perfectly happy with his bizarre purchase in reality. Number 7. St. George and the Dragon. The 23rd of April each year marks St. George's Day, the day we celebrate the patron saint of England. The famous legend says that St. George slew a fearsome dragon to rescue a princess. But did he really? Bizarrely, there are people...
Is his nickname perhaps Shrek or Donkey?
People who believe that he did slay a dragon, despite dragons never having existed. But he also...
I don't know about all that.
Wasn't English, and historians variously believe he may have either come from central Turkey or as far south as Palestine. It's thought that the story is derived from similar stories in ancient cultures, and that it could be inspired by a story of someone killing a crocodile, or is simply an allegory for the devil. Number 6. The Isle
Simply? Damn.
of Wight. The Isle of Wight is, of course, very real, and was a favourite holiday spot of Queen Victoria. But a popular urban legend claims that you can fit the entire population of Earth on the Isle of Wight if you packed us all in like sardines.
What?
There's a few ways to do the maths on this, depending on what the world's population is and how many people you decide to stick into 1 square meter.
Either way, I'm not going. I don't like people that much. I get claustrophobic, alright? I'm not going. Count me out.
But no matter your method, the conclusion is always the same. No, you really can't fit the entire population of Earth onto this one island just off the south coast. Number 5. Alien big cats. Sometimes called phantom
Alright, we're getting crazy now.
cats instead. You've probably seen stories to this effect crop up in local newspapers, as they appear regularly. Essentially, somebody snaps a photo of a cat that looks a bit too big, and it does the rounds in the media, with some theorising that the cat might be a big cat on the prowl in Britain, like a panther or a leopard. Ultimately, loose big cats have been found in the country when they've been illegally smuggled in as exotic pets. A loose puma was even caught in Inverness in the 1980s, but the belief that there's a wild and growing population of jungle cats somewhere in the UK persists, with many going out to look for evidence.
I can see it now. Some lady looks out her window and sees some fat old alley cat that just got done eating half a cheeseburger found in the garbage can down the road. And she was like, oh my god, that is a panther. I gotta call it in.
Number 4. Wild haggis. Adults know what haggis really is, but the wild haggis myth is something you might have played along with for a joke with young children. If they're heading to Scotland, tell them to look out for wild haggis roaming the Highlands. The legend of the wild haggis is such an extensive inside joke that there are many drawings of the haggis, and even elaborate fake taxidermy creatures.
Wow, that's so funny when something goes that far. People start making pictures and even like fake little creatures that look like it.
Some even say that the haggis's legs are shorter on one side of its body so that it can better climb the steep mountains. Shockingly though, it's not just children. Many tourists visiting the UK, primarily Americans, have also been found to believe that the wild haggis is a real animal.
Hey, well, who knows? You never know.
Number 3. The Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
While we all know, deep down, that Nessie probably isn't real, you'll
Who are you talking about? Nessie's real. Yeah.
struggle to find a Brit who doesn't really want to believe that she's out there.
She
in Loch
is.
Ness. Hunting the Loch Ness Monster is also a major draw for tourism in Scotland, with many Americans believing in her, just like they believe in wild haggis. Despite all the science saying there's no way a huge lake monster could be living up there, both because of how long she would have had to be alive, and because it's not clear what she'd be eating, the
How do you know? Have you seen her? Have you proven it wrong? How do you know?
legend persists. Even with all the debunked hoax photographs, Nessie remains beloved. Paul McCartney is dead.
Huh?
Widely dubbed music's biggest conspiracy, there's a popular belief that Paul McCartney died in a car accident in 1966.
What?
People point to alleged clues in Beatles lyrics and the design of their album covers, saying that lines in Sgt. Pepper say that not only was McCartney replaced with a lookalike, but that his lookalike's name is Billy Shears.
So people think he died and then they replaced him with somebody that looked like him?
Even today, people analyse McCartney's face and say he looks different from how he did before 60.
I have seen stuff like that. Like people like take old pictures of him and like use like the age filters on him to see what he looks like when he got older and then compare them and they say like it looks completely different. But that's also AI filters and stuff, you know, so.
66, and the rumours got so out of hand that Life magazine headed to McCartney's house in 1969 to investigate.
What?
Hey, pardon me for asking, but who's that little old man?
What little old man?
That little old man.
Oh, that one, that's my grandfather.
Even decades on, and people still believe McCartney perished all that time ago. Number 1. Queen Bess was a man. Can a woman really rule an entire country? Well, no, not according to some pseudo-historians and conspiracy theorists.
There is no proof against the Lady Elizabeth.
She's plainly guilty.
What need is there of proof?
For years, a strange story that Elizabeth I died as a child and was replaced by a young boy, who then grew up to be the Queen, has circulated among some people.
What?
As evidence, they cite her lack of heirs, refusal to marry, and military skill.
The Queen is dead! Long live the Queen!
However, everybody who actually knows about the subject knows that this story is completely wrong. After all, wouldn't Henry VIII have noticed if his daughter got swapped? Plus, many women choose not to get married or have children, and can rise through the ranks of the army if they're allowed to join.
Yeah.
Old Robert has committed treason.
I've never heard of this one before. That's crazy.
It must be made example of.
And I will make an example of him.
Some of those were actually pretty wild. I still believe in Nessie. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Y'all let me know some other conspiracy theories or myths that maybe they didn't mention here in this video down in the comments. I appreciate you guys so much. If y'all want to see more videos like this, let me know by hitting that like button, and I will see you guys tomorrow.